You can look at the climate crisis and just say, okay, you know what, this is too big of an issue, we're not going to be able to solve it. And it is really a massive challenge. I'm already seeing the effects of climate change across the board. We took a different way. We said, you know what, yes, it's a dire situation, but what can we do? The first project that we are focusing on at the moment is regenerative carbon removal through seaweed cultivation in Scotland. Seaweed is not a new industry that has been ongoing for hundreds of years, mostly in Asia. In Europe, it's still a very small industry. Yes, has become more industrial over the last decades, but mostly focusing on collecting natural stock of seaweed. We said, okay, if we want to scale a new solution, then probably seaweed cultivation is the way, but in a regenerative form. If we would just grow a monoculture of seaweed, it's exactly what can happen also in terrestrial systems. Monocultures, there's just limited life, not biodiversity rich. Many of the systems we have established today are linear systems. So you take a resource from nature and very often it just ends up being like waste somewhere. If you really want to take a holistic approach to developing a business, then you need to take into consideration where you're getting the resources from, how they're being used, and where they end up in the end.
How old has it been growing?
About 6 months. Doesn't take long. It grows very, very fast.
We haven't cut it yet, so if you can lift it a little bit, then we can cut it on the sides.
On this farm at Kilchoan, there are two types of seaweed. There's alaria and sugar kelp.
These are some of our older oysters.
There are also oysters on the farm. Together called an IMTA or polyculture farm. Really, we hope that with this we can help to regenerate the marine ecosystem. And so then what we do, because it doesn't stop at the marine ecosystem, we then take the biomass and we do two things with it. One is we produce a biostimulant. A biostimulant is basically a type of biofertilizer with additional characteristics, and those help to, for example, build up climate resilience in crop and restore the soil microbiome. The beauty of that is that on the one hand you have regeneration in the ocean, and then the product you're using helps to regenerate the soil. So on both ends it's ecosystem positive. And then what's left over after this process, which is high in carbon, we take that, we pyrolyze it, so that's anaerobic combustion, and we produce biochar, which is similar to charcoal and is a very permanent way to store carbon for a very long time, hundreds of years, if not beyond. The goal would be that you could do this at industrial scale and with that permanently store the carbon in, for example, construction materials. We take an open source approach. We invite collaboration. So we want the practitioners, the seaweed farmers, academia, engineering companies to contribute to this project, make it a better project and break down silos. This can help to support rural communities. It's really inviting people to think about what they can do and take action. It's in our hands now to actually create a world that is better for everyone. Yes, the ecosystem should benefit, and if the ecosystem benefits, we as humans will also benefit.